goal of mine with YouTube is to get better at storytelling. I'm about to graduate in a few weeks, and a lot of you guys, underclassmen especially, have been asking me to give some advice for high school, and I was like, okay, I got like 12 pieces of solid advice, let me spill the beans. Then it was like, that's kind of boring. I want to get better at storytelling, so I'm going to try to bundle these advices together into a story, and you guys can tell me at the end if I failed or succeeded. Okay, so come in the story with me. It's your first day of school next year, and you walk into school. This is my first piece of advice. Talk with your teachers. Talk with your teachers who you had last year, or just talk with the teacher that you'll have for the first time ever. Be the first student who just goes up to them and say, hi, how are you? How was your summer? Everything. Just ask them about their day. It can be personal. It doesn't even have to be about school, but this is so important because your teacher actually has so much to offer you. They're literally there to teach you, but teaching doesn't just come in the form of them lecturing you in class. A big part of it is also the conversations you have outside of class. If you want to get into a top school, teacher recommendations are also super important. So it's important that you start developing long-term relationships with your teachers, have them know about what activities you do outside of school, what you're passionate about, what your values are, and just what type of a human being you are. And of course, if you develop a good relationship with your teacher, that's kind of like a win-win for you as well. It's like one new friend you have at school who you can count on. So whenever you have something difficult come up, you can always go to that teacher and just tell them about your day. You know, kind of have a year to help you through the rough patches of life. Now that you talk to your first teacher, you walk into your first class. Once you get into class, develop the I don't give a shit attitude. This is so important because in high school, we're always like, oh my god, what does that person think of me? Oh my god, she's so pretty, I want her to like me. Well, let me tell you, don't give a crap about those people, because you have to focus on what you're learning, how you're developing as a person. And sometimes when you care about what other people think, you might be afraid to raise your hand in class. That definitely happened to me. I was so scared to raise my hand because I didn't want people to be like, oh my god, she's so dumb, like why did she ask that question? So if you develop this I don't give a shit attitude, you will just do whatever you need to do for yourself so that you can learn the best and perform at your highest level. So raise your hand, do the extracurriculars that are different from everybody else, speak out for what you believe in, and just don't give a crap about everything else. Okay, got out of class, you did not give a shit about anything, and now it's lunchtime. Yay! Okay, well, the first piece of advice for lunch today is you need to know the principle that time is like squeezing water out of a sponge. My grandma gave that metaphor to me, and it actually is very true. Time is always like water in a sponge in that it seems hidden and it's never coming out of the sponge. However, if you squeeze and look for it, there's always going to be extra time coming out. So for lunchtime, it's 45 minutes to an hour, at least at my school, every single day. That amounts to, let me do some quick maths here. So we have 45 times, oops, that's a plus. Oh, I don't even know if you can see. Okay, so 45 times 5 divided by 60 minutes. So that's 3 3/4 of an hour. So almost 4 hours every single week just from lunch. So imagine what you can get done in 4 hours. So for me personally, I was low-key antisocial in high school, and I just went to the library during lunch and did schoolwork. Of course, you don't have to do that if you have friends. But a lot of the times I do have friends. So I would actually go to the library with my friends and we would talk out problem sets about like AP chemistry or math. And it was honestly a really good group study session for us. So especially if you have strict parents who don't let you go to your friend's house after school, lunch is a great time to get together with your classmates to do extra problem sets together. So that is water like a sponge. And then the second tip I have for your lunch is to cut out the superficial friends. Remember that at the end of the day, you need to do what best supports your own growth. So if you think they're superficial, cut them out and just hang out with some new people, right? Don't be afraid of judgment, don't give a shit, and just do what you need to do. And with that in mind, share this video with your non-toxic friends who you actually genuinely enjoy being with. So hopefully they will enjoy this video as well. And now after lunch, you have a test in math. Oh my god, you're so nervous right now. You are like sweating, you need to pee, and you just want some fresh air. But let me tell you, you just have to focus on what is within your control. Hopefully you studied enough for this test, but even if you didn't, you don't have more time to study, so that's all out of your control at this point. What is within your control right now is that you go into the classroom and just give that test your all. Focus 110% on every single problem and make sure that you're not going to make any silly mistakes. So just read the problem and think back to what you studied and do the best that you can on that test. After that test, you can do some reflection and see how you might have been able to better study or prepare for that test to do better. But for now, just focus on what you can control. This is a principle that holds through all all of high school. Just do your best and don't care about the rest, because all you can control is doing your best. Hopefully you did well on that test, but you really don't know until the grade comes out. But now, ding ding! It's after school. You have tennis practice. However, you really hate tennis. You've been doing tennis for 2 years and the team this year ain't for you, and you're just feeling you're not having fun anymore. I feel like, should I really be spending my time on tennis? Don't be afraid to quit. This is something I wish I took earlier on in high school, because I always felt the pressure to continue doing activities that I started in. So for example, band, tennis, I just felt this pressure, you know, like I have to do things for like 4 years throughout high school, or it's gonna be so weird that quitting halfway through. I don't want to be a quitter. What you will find is that if you drop tennis right now because you don't enjoy it, you will have that extra time to pursue something else at a deeper level, or to pick up something new that you enjoy more. At the end of the day, that will not only look better for your college applications, but just serve you better as a person. It will just make you a happier person in general. So don't be afraid to quit the things that you don't enjoy. But the differentiator here is that you should only be quitting things that you feel like aren't challenging you anymore and that is not pushing you to grow. And you're not quitting the things that are actually challenging you and pushing you to grow and get better. After that quite boring tennis practice, you go home, and the number one tip I have here is to keep a journal and a planner. So journaling is really great for your mental health because it's like a thought dump. You might have so many different things and stressors going on in your life throughout the day, but by putting them down onto paper, I think it just takes a lot of weight off your shoulders. So that's definitely great, and it's also great for doing college essays down the road because you will be able to have that ability to translate your thoughts into words. And it's also great for just writing fast through all those English papers down the road as well. Secondly, always keep a planner, but don't just keep a to-do list. So what I mean by this is that sometimes people just keep a to-do list and they try to check things off, but what's really important is that you time block your to-do list. So you should have a corresponding time to everything on your to-do list. So you would write down what you need to do, but then also put them into the schedule format so that you're following a schedule not only at school, but also at home and during breaks, because it's actually really important to have a schedule with designated times to designated activities to actually getting things done. I will link the planner I use in the description below. It's great. I love it, and it's helped me get so much of my life done. Let's talk about our phones. It's time to study, and oh my god, like look, I just got an email and it distracted me from filming this video. But let's just say it's time to study right now, and what I would literally do, I would chuck my phone across the room. Don't do that if you have hardwood floors, but put your phone into another room or put it in your closet and put your phone on airplane mode or just turn it off. Because what would happen is I would be on a really hard problem and I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to do this problem anymore. And I just go on my phone, go on Instagram and get this instant dopamine hit for 2 seconds and then 30 minutes and then an hour, and then my entire night is gone. So by chucking my phone across the room, I find that when I get to that hard problem and I want to go on Instagram, I will have to remember, oh my god, I have to stand up, physically walk across the room and turn my phone back on in order to get on Instagram. And so that just seems like more work than trying to figure out my problem out. So I end up doing the homework problem and become productive. So turn your phone off and do not turn it back on until you're done studying. Let's say you had a really productive session because you did not use your phone, and so you can go to bed now. Yay! That was a snore. That was really bad. But you had a really good night rest, and now it's the morning, the sun is shining, the birds are chirping, and you have to go to school, but you can't go naked. So you're like, what am I gonna wear? Well, let Iris tell you, stop worrying about what you're gonna wear for school. Nobody will remember what you wear a week down the road. That's just such a waste of mental and time investment. So don't worry about that and just put on clothes that make you feel comfortable and confident and empowered to tackle everything you have throughout the day. Second tip for your morning is to eat a great breakfast. But on top of that, make your breakfast consistent so you don't have to put mental energy and end up getting decision fatigue. So decision fatigue is a phenomenon where you have to make so many decisions throughout your day, and with every decision you need more mental energy, and at the end of the day you're just really tired and you can't make great decisions. So at the beginning of your day, I recommend that you minimize the decision fatigue and the mental energy you have to put into deciding what breakfast you want to eat, and instead save that energy toward the more important things like how you want to approach a math problem on your next big test. So save that mental energy for later, and for your breakfast just have something consistent every day. So for example, I had a banana, blueberry, almond milk, sometimes soy milk, and like some seeds for a smoothie, and I also had a bowl of oatmeal on the side sometimes. So I knew what I was gonna have every single morning. It was healthy, it was balanced, and I just went for that and didn't have to think about it in the morning or the night before. So it was very easy and definitely saved me a lot of time and mental headspace. So decide on what you want for your breakfast and make it relatively consistent every single day so that you don't have to think about it in the morning and you can just grab and go. Finally, throughout the entire day, this is my last tip for you guys. It's to not compare yourself with others. This is definitely easier said than done. I'm still working on it. If you saw the truth about being a college YouTuber video, like, I'm definitely comparing myself to other YouTubers, and I found that throughout the college application process I was also comparing myself to my friends, and that's just very toxic, and that didn't come from anybody else but from within myself. And being the ambitious students that you guys are, I have a guess that you might be comparing yourself to other people as well, and I think the biggest tip I have for this is to just consciously try to stop comparing yourself to other people, and you actually get better at it. You know, it's kind of like this everlasting journey where you're trying to get to this final endpoint of not comparing yourself to others, but it's really hard to actually ever attain that goal. So just by trying like little by little every single time, you're still getting better. So just be you and don't worry about the rest. Remember, just control what is in your reach, like putting the most into every single test, every single activity, and making the best decisions that you can, and you will do well. Your journey is unique. It's not anybody else's. All you can do is focus on you, do what feels true and good to you, and don't worry about what other people are doing. We're all doing this together, guys. I'm trying to stop comparing myself with other people on YouTube. Honestly, I think I already got better at not comparing myself to other people on YouTube just by virtue of posting that one video, seeing all of your guys' comments, and just thinking about it more throughout the weekend. Now I think I'm actually genuinely better at it, and all I had to do was consciously think, hey Iris, don't compare yourself to other people. So those are my tips throughout the day. Hopefully I did an okay job going through the story. I don't know what I'm doing, honestly. For all these videos, like I do have a little bit of a, what do you call this, outline, but at the end of the day I don't really look at the outline. It's just kind of a mental roadmap for me, and I make up things on the spot, and I don't know how well it comes off until I start editing. So let me know how you thought of the story. If it's bad, I bet I will get better at storytelling. That's definitely a goal I have. I will show you guys. This is my goals for YouTube. You might not be able to see it well, so I'll put it as a b-roll sometime else in this video. But yeah, it's a struggle, but it's also a work in progress, and it's a really fun personal growth project. Good luck in high school. You guys got this. Follow these tips and you will do great. Oh, also like and subscribe, and have a good day. Bye.